Let's break down Raph Simmons' Spring-Summer '04 show, May the Circle Be Unbroken.
This model is also seen wearing many necklaces with symbolism from many cultures and religions. We see clear Buddhist or Hindu nods with the meditating man. Also, we see many Greek symbols with the omega, which symbolizes the end of something, tying back to the cyclical themes. We also see the uppercase letter of pi, which is the golden ratio, which plays into the theme of sacred geometry. The measuring tool that's there could also be a reference to that. There's a continuation of the skull motif that could be a reference to Siddhartha's attempted suicide, and even symbols that I'm not sure exist with that cross question mark thing. I think it's less important what each symbol means on its own and more what the symbols represent in general. Each icon has some deeper spiritual meaning that all convey this feeling of a search for enlightenment. Look 8 stays in the all-white color scheme, but this time with a bomber jacket. This jacket has a labyrinth of different symbols detailed throughout, with the crescent and clouds feeling like nods to Eastern imagery, and the girl and building being more reminiscent of Roman or Greek imagery. The layout of this graphic is very reminiscent of the Kabbalistic tree of life, which is a symbol in Jewish mysticism which represents the structure of the universe, nature of good, and the path of spiritual development of the soul. This is very fitting with the themes of enlightenment and each person's journey to achieve it. We also get our first nod at the year of 1969, which could be a reference to many things, but I have 2 main guesses that make sense. First, it can symbolize the end of an era, with the 60s hippie movement not living on much past the 60s. Or it could be a reference to the Stonewall riots, which were protests for LGBTQ rights that are seen as the main catalyst for that movement. Throughout this collection, we see Raph experimenting with androgyny, with no clothes being very masculine or very feminine, as well as casting male and female models throughout. We will also later see references to gender symbols and how they're on a spectrum, as well as the use of rainbow coloring throughout the collection. Look 8 and 9 seem very simple, but really show how Raph pushed the boundaries of using minimalism in very casual garments, but being able to charge high prices and name them as high fashion. The back of the hoodie featured in look 9 features the same graphics from the bomber, but this time in a hand-painted watercolor. Watercoloring was done on many pieces from this collection, and this is one of my personal grails as it's pretty wearable and I really love the aesthetic of it. Look 11, we see this hoodie cape thing that further shows Raph's master of form and silhouette. Look 12, we see the return of the satchel shirt, this time with the model also sporting a rainbow necklace. Look 17, we see a guy painted in silver with silver sweats, kind of reminding me of the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Look 18, we see this all-white leather jacket layered over this tank top.
Full video on my YouTube at Kyrie Hagen. Other parts posted here.